Beam up from Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here. How's it going today?
It's going, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just getting ready for nationals.
Beautiful weather forecast. What more could we want?
Yeah, no shit. Looking forward to it. We got Conor Pritiko coming on today, Dylan Westbrook, and hopefully Ryan Beagle. He hasn't talked to us through his phone yet, but he's going to try and get it going. And then Adam Turner's going to join us also.
Who could have imagined Ryan Beagle would become such a phenomenon?
Yeah, no doubt. He's been the year he's had has just been crazy.
Not even the year, but like his popularity has grown to such a point. His interviews, how do you explain this? He's still not the best interview in the game, but he says things that are so on point, even in the brief sentences he does put out.
Yeah, he's coming around pretty good. Excited to get him on. Fran, this isn't a pendant. It's actually just my earphones. I can see how that would look like in our weekend pendant, but just headphones. So,
listen, I think it's a beautiful pendant. All you had to do was say thank you. 4
wide and fancy Greg Callan design shirt. And did you hear what he gave us Friday? He gave us back. The Greg Callan line again.
Yeah, what was up with that? Did you request it?
Yeah, it came up because something happened on the microsprint program Thursday where one of the kids stole his line and he said, "I want royalties." And that got us into discussions why we don't use it why we don't hear it anymore. And he said, "I kind of save for the big ones." And I thought it was because Joel clipped me saying it out of context on one of the NASCAR promos. And at which point that would turn me off too if somebody used my line and kind of got credit for it. And I would be like, but what Joel didn't put in there was I said, as our good friend Greg Callan would say, you came looking for a show, well, here you go. Well, all you heard was me giving that one ass end of the line on TV, and I felt horrible for it. Greg said it's not why. But, I got to send a shout out to McLean, who's been holding down the fort, Greg's son on the microsprints. We really got together. Spencer came to the plate this year. We got Damien, who did a great job, dedicated every week. So we got a good crew that wants to come back already to microsprints, and we had some great moments. I mean, we caught a moment with Jack, and you have that moment. And we said, whenever you're interviewing animals and kids, it is tough. It's very tough. It's the old show business line for years. Don't go that route. So Jack had a moment with our beginner box stock champion. And sometimes it's tough to interview these drivers. Play it, Spence. Do you have it, Spence?
Well, Cecil, congrats on the win tonight and congrats on a great season. What did you have to do to get it in victory lane and to take home the championship tonight?
I don't know.
Pretty solid performance tonight. Congrats on the championship. Anybody who you'd like to thank for bringing home this check and that trophy tonight? All right, that'll do it. Everybody give it up for your new champion, Cecil Burbridge in the beginning.
You know, and I gotta realize we have 50-year-old drivers who clam up like that. So good job on Cecil Burbridge. It's not we're not picking on him. It's just Jack. Like I think he handled it pretty good. He held in there as long as he needed to make it fair. And at the end,
Jack,
you know,
he handled it as well as he could. And again, no fault. We're not picking on Cecil. We're just it's just fun to see things don't always go the way you expect, because some of these young racers haven't seen hours and hours of interviews like we have, even a casual race fan.
yeah,
So they don't have much to go from.
it was a good time. You know, we talk about young racers. This first guest we got coming on is not quite as young as our youngsters, but he's got a great career ahead of him. They did some great things on the weekend, Adam, and Conor Pritiko won the race Saturday, Great Canadian 300, but he also had a great story. How do you figure we lead into that? I see he's ready, Spencer, but got him crooked on our screen. We gotta get him pitched 90 degrees somehow there. All right, just on ours it's sideways. Bring him on if we're ready.
Spencer says it's fixed, it's got to be fixed.
So we'll invite Conor Pritiko on now. Oh, you had it there. And did I just mess it up? You had it. Spencer fixed it. Go back the way you were, Conor. Now we're right upside down. Get him fixed up, Spencer, and bring him back while we tell the story here. So Adam, you tell what you know about it. There we go. Conor, welcome to the show.
We can do everything but hear him, Spencer.
How about Conor?
You got me now?
There, we got you now, man. Such a solid run. Talk about that win on the weekend.
Yeah, no, to be honest, starting the day off, I honestly didn't even think we were going to get any racing in tonight. But you know, got to give a big shout to Delaware Speedway and the whole APC organization for sticking it out and, you know, getting the show in. And I was surprised on how many fans showed up and stuck it out until, you know, we were finished racing. I think we were done around 1 a.m. And, you know, I didn't quite think we had the car to really go out there and compete for the win until we came down pit road, made a quick little pit stop. Danny Benedict and the crew did a heck of a job making the right changes. And, you know, it came to life at the end there. And it was just such a surreal feeling winning, you know, the Great Canadian at Delaware after all the success we've had throughout my past there in the career with, you know, the track record and track championship and being a place I grew up watching races at. You know, when I was little, I used to sleep with my window open and listen to the cars on Friday nights, and we live that close to the Speedway. It's just an awesome feeling.
Conor, let's talk about, you know, let's just back it up. We got a bit of time here. You know, what are you doing during that rain delay? Because you were supposed to be on track around 1:30 or something. You actually got on track closer to, I think it was 6:30 by the time we got to the track. A late, long, colder day. You know, how do you kill time to make sure you're still ready to go when the weather finally says, yeah, it's go time?
Well, I mean, I thought about just kind of going home and hanging out until the rain started to slow up, but you know, I just kind of hung out in the trailer with my crew. We talked over some things, came up with a little bit of a game plan, talked to some other drivers about, you know, what they were thinking about doing, and just went from there with it.
Conor, talk about 300 laps. If anyone was happy with the race and how it went down, it has to be you, but 3.5 hours inside a late model is a long time.
Honestly, I think the 200 was a little bit harder than the 300 for me because, you know, this year I learned a lot more about doing the longer races and kind of what it takes to do, what I need to prepare for versus last year when we first kind of jumped into the APC program and did the big 200 at the end of the year. I was more tired then than I was now. And, you know, doing like 150 laps at Savo and 250 laps at Sunset's a lot harder than just 300 laps at Delaware, you know, because you're always turning. Delaware, you got, you know, it's a half mile versus a quarter mile or third mile. You got, you know, some time to kind of think about what's going on around you and stuff versus those other tracks you're always turning and you don't really have much time to think.
Connor, we had talked a bit about your story, visiting the hospital with the kids. You had a lot of young handprints on the car. They all got to sign those. And, before we get to the end of the race, because we got the clip of your dad and me in victory lane, and we want to reveal it that way. But do me a favor, let's lead up to what happened to get these kids involved and you guys involved with the hospital, and tell us what it was like taking the car, because that's a great story to the hospital as well.
So it was right after the Sauber race, and my dad just kind of came up with the idea, like, hey, let's try to do something here to promote the event, but it's also to give back to all the sick kids and all the kids that are less fortunate to be doing what we're doing. And he kind of came up with this idea out of a group from the East Coast who have been doing this for the past 6 years, raised a ton of money for it. And, he reached out to Jennifer Baxter, who is Jimmy Ireland's wife, and he's the head guy at GSR Glensire's Racing. And Jennifer was all over it. She jumped on board with it, thought it was an amazing idea. And, we showed up at the hospital on Tuesday and got to meet the kids all day. And it was such a surreal experience. It made me realize how fortunate I am to be doing this. And, it's just an eye-opener experience, honestly.
Let's roll the clip.
I've had
Adam. Oh, sorry. Tell your story, but next thing we got is the clip.
Hang on one second. I've had the opportunity to visit children's hospitals, Connor, and what always amazes me is I can look around the racetrack and show you 100 people who are more miserable and more negative than these kids who are in the hospital battling things we can't even imagine. Was that kind of your experience? Like the energy that these kids give off, it's almost they're healing you, not you healing them.
Oh, 100%. Like, when I was in that hospital walking around, handing out some hero cards, signing some things, and we walked around with the whole hood of the car. So some kids that couldn't come outside and see the actual car were able to, sign their handprint and stick it on the hood, and they loved it. They were just smiling so bright, and it truly just was an unreal experience, just seeing how happy the kids were to get visited by someone who has never been to the children's hospital. And, they just were all over it.
Roll the clip, Spencer. This is post-race with your dad, Paul.
The prize money's going right back to the Children's Hospital. This race is for Felix. He knows who he is. We did it for him.
It's a pretty special moment there. Did you guys talk about giving the money back to the hospital, or did your dad shock you there? How did that all come together?
So our plan the whole time was to give the money back to the hospital. It was going, like, we had talked about it, and my dad's like, hey, I think we give it back, and I was all for it. It's honestly just the best thing we could have done. It's helping our donation total, and, just after seeing the kids on Tuesday, it just made me want to give that money back even more. Just, like that one kid, Felix, that he keeps talking about. Felix has been in the hospital for around a year now with cancer, and, he's been kind of struggling with it. He was one of the kids that were able to come outside and see the race car. And, he came out and got to check it out. And, as soon as we fired it up for him, we were the only kid. He was the only kid that we could fire it up for. And as soon as we fired it up for him, the kid just started smiling, and that smile couldn't go away. And it was just one of those feel good moments.
Good on you, boys.
Connor, what's next for you in terms of next year, a couple of years down the road? Do you see yourself sticking with pro late models? Do you have aspirations to go elsewhere?
I'm not too sure kind of what's in store for me here. I'm hoping to do another full season on the APC tour here. And, it'd always be a dream to go down south and run the odd race here and there. But just got to see kind of where the sponsorship lines up and, where we end up with what, and go from there.
What about this year, Connor? Any more races on tap for you?
I think we're going to go out to Delaware on the championship night here in 2 weeks. We're going to go run that, just the 35-lapper Friday night show. We might head up and do the Autumn Colors Classic at Peterborough, might run that, and maybe Frosttoberfest at Flamborough. It just kind of all depends on, how this race goes here at Delaware, and if the car's in one piece and we're feeling confident, we'll go do it.
So that's It's fun to see where people have come from because judging by your email address, you were a karting champion. Is that correct, Connor?
Yeah, I was. It was an email I made way back when after my dad came up with the idea to make it, and that's I've never just changed it.
Can you describe what it's like? So you go from a type of racing where you travel all over the place. You travel extensively. And then now at the APC, you're closer to home than you've ever been racing karts. Do you still get the urge? Like, would you have raced down Georgia, Florida, all the winter tours and that?
Yep. So when I was karting, we just ran the 4-stroke class to start with. We went, all around Ontario, went to Goodwood, Mosport, Hamilton. And then we did some races out in Quebec at Tremblant and Icar at the airport. And then we jumped to the 2-stroke class, did some racing around here. And then, we decided to go get our feet wet down south. And we did the Florida Winter Tour. We did the Supernats at Las Vegas, which is one of the best events I've been to. No other racing event that I've been to so far compares to that. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my racing career.
Right on, Connor. We appreciate you being in, and good luck, man. You really jumped on the scene here in the past couple. How old are you, by the way? That's the last one I went up.
I just turned 19 this year.
That's pretty good, solid years.
Yeah, very cool.
So
you've accomplished a little bit. Congratulations, man. Good luck in the fall races.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on tonight, guys.
Thanks, Connor. Man, this kid is run really good. Another one who's kind of come out of his shell, even talking to us. He's become quite the media darling too. And what a great story! What a great thing they did on the weekend. It's always great when we see the sport give back like that. So super happy to see that happen for them. And I think they got us all emotional on Saturday when they were talking about they fired up the car. And I think Jamie told a story, and you can see all the hands on the window, and all of a sudden you just see all the kids' faces up in the tower as they fired up the car there. So what a great story.
No, it is for sure. And I wouldn't have guessed he was that young. Just from seeing him from afar for as long as the few seasons that we have, I wouldn't have guessed that he had just turned 19 years old. Races with a lot of poise, a lot of patience. And, man, he put a whooping on them Saturday.
Looking forward to hey, how about a shout out to Sean Evans throwing it back to the dirt. Sean Evans got his first 360 win on the SOS at Merrittville, and Sean's been at it for a while, and he's been due. He's had some good solid runs in some of the bigger events, so good on Sean to get there too. We have some other clips. We're expecting Westbrook, Big Dog Ryan Beagle, and Adam Turner to come on. Now, all three of them have guaranteed spots for their national events this weekend. Beagle gets in by virtue of being the Osh Weekend champ for the Street Thunderstock Nationals. Adam Turner gets in by winning one of the Brighton races for the Crate Nationals, and Dylan Westbrook gets in as well. Pick your 4 things he got in. He won 2 of the qualifying races, is the Osh Weekend champ, and there's probably another criteria in there that would get Dylan in at some point too. So, yeah, he would be the highest finishing SOS driver if not one of them had qualified either. Right now, as of today, earlier, car counts were right around 48 with a couple not. I think we're going to get 50, 360s, probably 45 maybe crates, and I've had to guess 55 Thunderstocks when we're all said and done is the estimate right now, which are all good numbers for these events. So,
can I tell? It's kind of a related story, Clinton, but kind of unrelated.
Yeah.
I always loved. This is funny. I always loved statistics when I was young. Since I've become an announcer, I don't like statistics at all because I find they're too much of a crutch sometimes. But I always used to get the Super Dirt Week program or the Oswego Classic program, and I loved reading back to previous years, who won how many races and who drove what cars. And I remember, I think it was Nolan Swift. I could be wrong. It might have been Todd Gibson with the Flintstone Flyer that won every feature race one year at Oswego Speedway. And I thought, how boring must that have been to be out there to witness it? But we've just witnessed that at Ohsweken Speedway with the exception of one race. Dylan Westbrook swept the season at Ohsweken, and I didn't find it boring whatsoever. Like, it was compelling. It was exciting to watch what he was able to achieve.
Yeah, Westbrook, there's been some crazy drivers that have come in, but Westbrook, man, I don't know what it is, but this year it just seems like, everything is gelled for him. His style suited the track and the moves this guy's making. And you don't hear any other driver squawking. Every driver in the pit area just looks at Dylan and he's so far out front. It's not a technical thing. He's not picking up a 10th here because he's got this going on in the car. It's his giant balls that are making him make these moves that are winning these races for him by a mile. So I don't know. You see, we got Big Dog here. If he's ready, bring him on. Ryan Beagle won the championship Friday night at Ohsweken, and this is another guy who had a fantastic season at the Big O. Of course, this Nationals weekend, big races for these guys. Can you show the flyer, Spencer? Will be the one with the 20K on it. Thunderstock Nationals kickoff Thursday, 7 p.m. $5,000 to the winner, $200 to start. It's been a pretty cool deal there. Get this one courtesy of Greg Callan. It was his idea to make it happen. So, pretty awesome. Let's bring the Big Dog in. Well, before we get to that, Ryan's got some fan art going on, as I called it yesterday, and the beams start rolling in already. Show the two pictures that we showed there. There's one, the 2024 Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock champion, the Big Dog Ryan Beagle, and this is my favorite. I like this one. You want this piece? You like my belt, boys? Ryan, welcome to the show. Thanks for being a good sport. I actually messaged Ryan yesterday and said, hey, you cool if we pass these around because they're good. Wasn't the first time. Didn't we have the Justin Ramsey and you in the Step Brothers one from a few years back? Is that where it got started, Ryan?
Yeah, that was last fall. I think the same guy created all of those or had something to do with it.
Right on.
Where are we talking to you from tonight, Ryan?
I'm just sitting in my car because it's the closest place to the house with internet. So.
I thought you were going to say the secret setup shop where we can't show nothing because everything's locked down.
Kind of quiet here too. So.
Well, first
That's
off,
fair.
Let's go back to last week. Spencer, do you have the picture I sent in the dump? It'd be the side of his car. Looks like it got sliced by a big X-Acto knife right down the side. Now, Ryan, you were going into last year leading the points and got into a jingle in turn 2 and didn't end up. This is what your car looked like at the end of championship night Friday, where you're trying to avoid the same thing. What the hell happened to the side of this car? And were you seeing shades of 2023 all over again?
Well, I was a little bit more relaxed because I think we just had to start. But, it's just I checked up to miss a wreck, and I just moved over too far, and I didn't just a racing deal, basically. Lucky to get out with that little.
Well, that little seemed like pretty big opening on the right side of that race car. But talk about the season that you had, Ryan. Is there an adjustment that you found on the race car that brought this success, or is it just another season under your belt and you're doing that much better?
I don't know. We don't really change a whole lot of stuff. We make little tweaks here and there, but I kind of found something by accident last year at Humberstone that helped a little bit. But I'm just getting more comfortable driving the same thing every week. So we're just trying to stay consistent with what we do, and so far on most track services it works out.
Ryan, anything you'll change going into this week or anything that you'll maybe prepare for? 35 laps. We've been wearing weekly 20s. We had a marathon 55 there a few weeks back. This one kind of sits right in the middle. This one is a bit different, though, and there's no handicapping. There's no, there's no, how can I put, redraws. There's nothing like that isn't created by you. And by us using the exact formula of the 360 Nationals that we created years ago, means time trial is going to set up your heats, means you can get in the pole dash means you can race for the pole. So if you are really moving forward on that night, very luck has very little to do with it other than racing luck on the track, or what we'd say in hockey, puck luck out there. But draws and handicapping have nothing to do with it. Do you prepare any different like that for a race that's pure speed than one that you have to come from the back?
We haven't really had the chance, but got to work on qualifying. We don't do a lot of qualifying. I think this is the first time. Well, we had a qualifying session at Merrittville earlier in the year for the Ivan Little, but yeah, you kind of control your own destiny. Thursday night, it'll definitely be. It won't be a race to the front like normal, and I'm really interested to see how it turns out.
Ryan, some of these big races the last few years, it seems like the visiting cars have really done a good job. I mean, cars from Brighton have come in and really shown the fast way around. What do you have to do to make sure? Does it matter to you if a home team car wins this race if it's not you?
It doesn't really matter to me. I'd be happy if a home guy won it, but I'd be happy if somebody from Brighton or Merrittville or Buxton won it too. The class is so competitive, and seems like any one of us can go anywhere and run really good. So no, it doesn't matter to me. I'd like to win it, but the season we've had, if we don't, it doesn't matter because we've had a great year.
Ryan, let's talk about the season you've had. We've kind of tried to up our tech a little bit at Oshweekon on Friday nights. I took a shit kicking on Friday for not giving you guys your due, you and Brett Stratford. So I'm going to say it public here. We apologize for that. We I think as a broadcast team and probably as track management might have dropped the ball and definitely slipped through the cracks to acknowledge you guys. I talked to you and Brett both off air, but it was a combination of getting you guys through tech, which we already had planned, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And the weather coming in, at which point, we did the mini stocks, and then just, I know you guys were there, but I'm telling the fans home. But, we started rushing through the night. It's spitting halfway there, and we're trying to hustle through. So we decided we were going to cancel all victory lanes, get through it. But, of course, it looked like we took care of the minis and the 360s and forgot about you guys, but those were the start and end of the show. So at the end of the deal, I think, we're going to have a big deal for you this week, Ryan. But you were stuck in tech, and we brought up the cam doctor. You've been whistled. We've done pretty much everything we can do to your motor other than, tearing it right apart. I feel like you guys have been great. You passed all the tests. There wasn't a concern like that, but this needed to just quiet all the detractors. Now, you said you didn't mind the tech, and I think our tech guy, Mike Miller, says it best that, I think, to quote Mike, a real racer, appreciates solid tech because it validates their accomplishments. So is that how you feel? And Spencer, if you can, show the pictures of the graph and Ryan's car and tech. We brought the cam doctor got Klotz in. Mark Klotz, thanks him for coming in. And, we checked 4 cars, Ryan's car and 3 other crate sprints, and the graphs all lined up one on top of each other, which tells us from the factory they had the exact same camshafts in them all. Nobody had changed anything, and everything was on the up and up. So, yeah, it was a bit arduous. Ryan was the last one out of tech long after the races were over. But I think that's a tribute to why we have good car counts and why people want to race with us. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the tech processes you had to face this year?
I enjoy going to tech because it means you had a good night. We got nothing to hide, and like you said, it just validates the work we put into it. And I don't really know what else to say. I'm glad you guys are doing it, and I like it a lot better than just shining flashlights and stuff. That's for sure.
Ryan, does there ever come a point where you're going to run out of challenges, or now do you try to chase down Dave Bailey's, 7 in a row?
I don't think that's achievable. I'm happy with 1, and from here on out, it'll all be just gravy. I don't know. We do this for fun, and we'll just try to keep it as fun as we can for as long as we can.
Right on, Ryan. We appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. It's going to be pretty wild out there. The nice thing with this one, though, Ryan, the best of the best. We're going to have 30 of the best in Ontario there. You're going to have to fight your way in. There's no easy way in. I guess that's my last question. Does that change your perspective at all, knowing there aren't any newcomers, nobody trying to figure it out? This should be a fairly solid competition.
Yeah, I think it'll be very similar to the Brock Leonards the past few years, just a little bit shorter distance, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Ever since you guys announced it back in, I think it was February, I've had it circled on the calendar, so it'll be nice to have that trophy sitting in the shop. But if we don't, it don't matter. The 2nd through 7th or even to start pays really good, so it should be good to go.
Ryan, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. You're such a great ambassador for the track. There's no surprise why you're as popular as you are, and I don't think it's something you even much care for, but it's fun for me to watch.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Ryan. We're pulling all these guys out of their shells. I love it. And keep rolling with Nationals weekend.
He doesn't say much, but what he says is always from the heart. He's just a nice guy. Like, he's the kind of guy everyone wants to cheer for.
I know. Beagle's got a lot of fans out there. It's going to be a great battle. I'm excited to see the best of the best in the province come in. That's Thursday night. What a deal it is to kick off National Weekend. $10 at the grandstand, kids in free, $25 in the pits. If you ever want to come out, check out Rush Weekend. This is the cheapest, best night that you're ever going to get here value-wise to come out and check out. The best understocks, plus the roots of Rush Weekend, the sportsman cars, and then back to 3 sessions for the sprint cars. Well, it has been announced. Show the rate card for Saturday, Spencer. Over $100,000 in purse coming out Friday night at Rush Weekend. Big Brian came out to me last week at karting, gave another 10 to make it 30,000 Canadian for the win. That's over 22 US still for the winner's share. Just to qualify is going to be about 1,400 US, 2,000 Canadian dollars. I talked to Glenn today. This slide is actually old. If you go back to the slide for a minute, Glenn said, well, if they're going to make it 30, let's round second up to 10. So I'm announcing it here for the first time. The winner will pay 30,000. Second will now be 10 grand Canadian. We're going to round that up. So it'll be 30, 10, and 55. Dylan Westbrook, most dominant driver, well, in 360 history at Rush Weekend. Probably the most dominant driver in the history of the Speedway. Probably the driver with the most pressure on his back coming in to perform here of the Ontario drivers because of the way you've won. Almost a perfect season. Shit, I don't know what else we can say about you, Dylan. Welcome to the program, buddy. How are you feeling going into Nationals Week? And, do you feel like this is the year, or do you feel like talking to jackasses like us are the things that's going to jinx it for you?
No, I feel like between every other year that we've done this is kind of our best shot. We can't ask for any better season than we had so far. We're just kind of going through everything. Like, we were at the shop last night, just checking over everything, just making sure that nothing, hopefully have no mechanical breakdowns. Just, again, check like everything, go through that thing like better than ever. And yeah, that's try to give us the best shot that we have. We feel the best we've been there for quite a while. So as long as the track kind of goes a little bit in our favor and nothing, no mechanical stuff happens, I think we got a really good shot at it this year.
Dylan, what's kept you from winning it in the past? I mean, I don't need a year-by-year breakdown, but you do so very well in so many events, and this one's not one you've been able to knock down.
I don't know. It just seems like a lot of times you just have some bad luck. Like, there's been a couple of years where like just mechanical failures, and not like something common like an engine or something blowing up like that. Just weird stuff that happens and takes us out of the race, and then just kind of getting heats with like real tough guys, like where if you just draw like a 52 instead of a 53, it put us in a different heat race, and we'd not be against like the best guys out there that finished at say first, second, third. Meanwhile, we had to race them, then we start further back and kind of sets us a little bit behind. But I mean, if you're going to win it, you got to beat them either way. So we just got to be a bit better anyways.
Dylan, what would you say has changed in your package? Because it seemed like there, up till 3-4 years ago, you were the dominant, not as dominant as you've been this year, but you were still the favorite. then it looked like you were kind of slipping there for a couple years. And by slipping, I mean, you just weren't kicking ass every week. And it looked like Ryan Turn, Bowman kind of had a couple good seasons. And now this year you seem to be back to where you were like 2022, 2021, or I guess it'd be 21 and earlier. What clicked with you, or what have you gone back to that's brought you back to the point you're at now?
Like with being on the road, as much as it helped, kind of like we're used to like kind of going like traveling like different track each and every week. So kind of got to learn as you go. The tracks are always different. So before I was used to racing at kind of the same couple places, was there so many times each, like at least once a week almost seemed like we'd be at almost every place, where now we come back and haven't been there for so long, where all these other guys have been racing nonstop still for quite a while. So just the track always changes a little bit. Like what I did before I left, that we're on something different now. We just kind of had to take a little bit of time and relearn what to do, and just kind of go through our setup with a fine tooth comb and just get it all figured out again.
Someone pointed out it was interesting. All 4 of our track champions hauled to the racetrack in an open trailer. Dylan, is that image something that you take to heart? Like, is that a big deal to you?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, we show up there on an open trailer, but with Sean Evans and all of them, like whatever parts we need, we're constantly going over there and always bugging them like, oh, we need this. So yeah, we're on an open trailer and a pickup, but we got Sean as our big support trailer. We always tease him about.
What did it mean for the Hills team to see Sean get one on Saturday?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I love to win, but if I can't win, it's Sean. He's definitely the next one I want to win. He's just been doing it for a long time, and just keeps on getting better and better every time he's out there. And to finally for him to get a win, that was awesome. I think I was more fired up about him winning than I am normally on a Friday night.
Well, it's because it was pretty special. Talk about the camaraderie on a team when you're the one winning every week.
I mean, we try to help each other out a bit, but I mean, there's certain stuff that I do where Sean has tried it, or he just knows like that won't work for him. Like we run a lot different setups, but we kind of try to share a little bit here and there and try to get us both working. But yeah, it's just we still have like the same stuff, but just do completely different things with it and still try to get the same outcome.
Dylan, we were working on getting the car counts back. We're closing on 50. I'm sure we're going to be north of 50. Maybe not way north, but we're going to have more than 50 cars there. Even when you've had the season you've had, the track's where it is, your setup's on, you still need a lot of things to go your way when you get into a night like that. There's a lot of competition. Help us sell some tickets here for someone who maybe is on the fence about coming to Ush Weekend on Friday or Saturday. Why should they come down and check out this race that we all know is a classic, but why should they think it could be one?
I think it's going to be a great race. Like even Friday and Saturday, like there's going to be so many cars. They're like everyone's a great driver now. The track's been awesome and nice wide. Always seems like there's 2 lanes you can do and always slide people and everything. So it's going to be, I think no matter what, it's going to be a great race. So yeah, hopefully I'm in front for this one, but either way, no matter what, it's going to be awesome.
You said something interesting, Dylan. Everyone's a great driver now. What do you attribute that to? The fact that there is so much more competition? Does iRacing have something to do with this? Like people are able to hone their skills somewhere and then take them to the racetrack? What do you think it is?
I honestly don't know. It just seems like before there was, say, like a couple people that were always up there, and now it seems like no matter what, like even if it's not the same person every week, there's no matter what, like someone's going to be just hit it really good every week, and someone's always fast. Like before, it seemed like you had like a small group of cars that would always be up there. Everyone else was kind of, they're just still learning or what. But now, no matter what, like anyone could win on any week. It's I think just the whole like Oswego, just Ontario sprint car like crew has really stepped up in the last couple of years.
No, I agree. It's been crazy to see. Adam talked about years ago. A lot of the American New York guys would come up on an off night and they would easily knock you guys off the podium. Now they're lucky to be the top 10 on many nights with our guys. What do you hear on the buzz out there? Is there any names out there that maybe is off our radar that you think may be coming up, or anything you're hearing?
No, I haven't really heard that much. I mean, when we were at the shop Monday, that's what we were talking about, just kind of who isn't on the list that might still be coming up, and we couldn't really think of anyone kind of just when we were talking about it then, but I'm sure there'll be someone that we missed that kind of after when they do show up, it'll be like, oh, I mean, we should have known that he was coming up for sure. But yeah, just we're trying to figure that out. Like there's going to be someone come up that we're missing.
Well, Dylan, you've got a huge target on your back. There's no doubt about that. We wish you the best of luck. I don't have a whole lot more for you. It seems like we interview you every other week, which is fine with me. You've earned every one of them. Clint?
Yeah, that's it. Come back and talk to us next week, Dylan, if you can pull this one down. 20th edition of the Northern Sprint Car Nationals, 30,000 win. I guess that's it, Dylan. What would you do with 30,000? How would it change? I guess the $1 million question is, how would it change your life?
Well, got a house not too long ago, so redoing it all. So it'd definitely help out with that. That's make things a little bit easier. So hopefully if I win or something, I can buy some flooring and appliances and be good to go for the winter.
Right on,
there you go, man. It's a very responsible outlook.
Thanks, Dylan. We'll talk to you. Dylan gets busy Friday night for the Twin 15s, and then he'll be back at it. Bring him back for 1 second, Spencer. We still got him. I think we lost him. You still there, Dylan? Hey, are you going to run Friday? Some guys sit out the Friday to save their equipment for Saturday. You going to try and go for spot 9 and 10 by winning one of the Twins on Friday?
Yeah, we're going to go out there. I mean, even Thursday too, just to make a couple laps. Like, I mean, that's the thing with doing over everything on the car, like extra. Like, there's just a chance of leaving something loose too. So at least go out there, make a couple laps Thursday, and then do the race Friday. Just shake everything down again, try to learn something a little bit more, and then just try to get as ready as we can.
Hey, for team's not coming, right? That was a question in the chat too. You're on that team. Hey, for team coming?
No, he's got ASCS race. That's hopefully for next year. Line it up somehow if it does work. So there isn't a race for the ASCS and on national the same date, and then I'm sure he'd be up every time.
Right on. All right, thanks, Dylan. Get back to work.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Ciao, man. A couple of names, Adam, that came up in our chat with Tommy Gregson. Billy Van Imogen, Ryan Coney, and Mike Lichter are still on the list. Chuck Heaving, Jason Barney. So we're quite confident that Coney and Lichter are going to be there. Not sure about Billy Van Imogen, Chuck Heaving, or Jason Barney, but I can't see them not being there. I mean, they've been there every other year other than Billy V. And Billy V's driving the Stelter car, so, they've come a lot. Yeah, Zambardi, he's out now. Zambardi hasn't raced in a while, so I don't think he's racing much anymore. Also got to note, Trevor Young has changed his number from 8 to 8 for this weekend, running a special throwback scheme. So we'll follow up that story a bit more. Third part of Nationals weekend. Let me know when Adam Turner gets here, Spencer. I did send him a link a couple minutes ago. So there he is. Show the third slide. It will be the 25K version of the slides. 25,000 on the line, 5,000 to win the third edition of the Northern Crate Nationals Friday night as the Crate Sprints will take center stage. Adam Turner going to join us from the East. He was one of the winners at Brighton on Labor Day weekend, and that will get him into a guaranteed spot for the action coming up Friday night. And Adam Turner, are you going to run the Thunderstock Nationals too, or are you just going to stick with the crates?
Well, unfortunately, I'm just going to stick with the crate. The Thunderstock needs a motor, so we weren't able to find one, and I didn't even have enough time really to look very hard. But I wish we did, but too bad we don't.
How good does it feel to be locked into the Crate Nationals?
Pretty good, because usually when I'm up that way, I usually just sneak in. So we don't get a chance to try much because we're so worried about just sticking with what we know instead of trying to get better. And so now hopefully we can get a little better at Oswego and try something and not be so nervous about it.
Right on. It's what about the format? Qualifying, you get the 360 format, the pole dash. If you're quick, you can make your own magic on that night. That's got to be fairly exciting from the driver's seat.
Yeah, it is actually. I like last year when we got the time at Oswego, we did pretty good. So it's kind of nice to do the time trial deal, and I didn't really pay much attention to what gets us into the pole dash.
Top 8 in passing points for the night.
All right, that's what I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure.
So all 3 nights, just so we're clear on it, the top 8 in passing points make it to the pole dash, which is a 5-lap race, which will start the top 8 starting spots. So instead of a redraw, you actually get to race for your spots, which I love. I mean, that's the 8 best guys on that night, or drivers, I should say. You could have Kelsey Ivey in the mix, or Melissa Miller. We got some females out there that can get it done. So I think I love the format. I mean, it's always awesome when you get the best of them. I like it because we're going to bring all the best great guys from all over the province together, and even an American or two. I think Josh Byrne's going to come up, and he's a guaranteed start along with Adam by winning one of the other races.
Yeah, it should be a good time. I don't know. What are we expecting? 40, 45 cars maybe, Robin?
I think we're at 36 or 7 right now. We'll be 40 to 42, I think, by the time we're all said and done. We always have a couple guys who can't figure out the sign in and just show up. So we'll be all right.
What is it about Oswego that makes it hard to get around, Adam?
I don't really understand what makes it hard. I like usually I have no problem getting around most places. I think the width of it usually helps a lot of guys, but for me, and at least with the sprint car, I always feel like there's somebody coming up, and I hate to not leave a lane, coming off the corner. So I'll kind of be a little tentative getting out to the wall so I can arc a corner because I never want to, right rear a guy or anything like that. So for me, it's just the fact that the width, you just never know where people are. So I'm always on defense instead of offense, kind of.
Adam, being a Thunderstocker, I know you got engine trouble, but what do you think about the Thunderstock Nationals coming together for these guys? We're super proud of being able to put it together and kick off Nationals weekend like that.
No, I think it's great for all the smaller classes or lower classes to get something like this because, weekly they pay the same to get in. Nowadays they spend in comparable, like same money when you talk about return on the dollar at the pay window and stuff. So I think it's great. And in the West, especially, you guys have a great car count to begin with. And the cars coming up from the East have been more competitive over the years going that way. So I hate to say it, but it might be one of the best races of the weekend.
I don't disagree.
No, don't hate to say that. We've had a couple of bad weeks with the Thunderstocks, which is why I think we're going to have a good week this week. I think they're really going to mind their P's and Q's, but
P's and Q's and more cars, so it kind of weans out a little bit of the maybe disaster happening.
This is what we were talking about, right? It's all based on speed, so there's no help for the guys who are trying to figure this out. If they're slow, you're just going to be going home. So there's no way around it. And I think when we get, the cream rises to the top, but we already start with the cream, I think it's where it turned that into a beautiful milkshake that Adam and Greg are just going to love all night long. So I'm excited about that one. I think if you put that one together, as if you guys would love a nice milkshake up there. I forget where I was going with that. I got all off topic.
I think you already went too far anyway. So
okay, let's switch gears. Spencer, do you have the picture I sent of the email I got just before I came on the air? So I'll let Adam read it if you got it. And I better switch over to it, make sure I've got it. Anthony Van Dyke sent me an email. Oh yeah, which Adam? You, Adam Ross.
All right.
He sent me an email and a picture right before we come on the air And this is kind of how it's been going at Osh Weekend. People jumping in with more money. Now it's not 10 grand, but it's still an amazing, amazing addition to our deal. Read that out loud, Adam Ross, for us.
My name is Anthony Van Dyke, and I've been a huge fan of dirt racing ever since my brother took me to Ohsweken Speedway for a Friday night race 3 years ago. I've also been following everyone involved with G-Force TV as much as possible. I've always been a huge fan of racing all over North America, mainly being short asphalt tracks, Sunset, Home Track, Delaware, Flamborough, Peterborough, etc. I've always wanted to be involved in racing in some form or another. I'd like to donate $1,000 to the Crate Sprint Northern Nationals purse. I'll be attending Ohsweken Speedway on Friday, September 13th with 2 of my brothers. We always get pit passes and can arrange something with you then if you wish at your earliest convenience. Thank you for taking time to read this email, and I appreciate everything you guys do for the sport of racing. Regards, Anthony Van Dyke.
Show the picture, Spence. So, Anthony, we're going to take you up on that offer. We're going to find out where he wants to put his $1,000. And thank you so much, Anthony. So looking forward to meeting you, and looking forward to introducing you to the Crate driver so you can share your money. And how cool is that, Adam Turner, that we get fans just sending us random emails and saying, hey, we want to up the purse. So that could mean anything. And this is how it works with these. Man, my dad gave me shit this week for calling donations. I don't even know if it's a sponsorship. It's like driver pastor. I don't even know what it's called. But these amazing fans that donate money to our sport, it's their choice. So even the 10K for the big 360 last week, said, Brian, where do you want it? You want to put it back, middle? They all want it on the top. So this could mean $6,000 to win for the crates. It could mean 10th place gets a $1,000 bonus, whatever Anthony wants. But it's cool that they're going to add it to the purse. Pretty amazing that we have those things, right, Adam Turner?
Oh, it definitely is. It's great to have. I have a lot of great fans, a lot of great help, and of course, all of us drivers appreciate it. No matter where the money goes, it just shows that we still have support, and there's lots of people interested, and it just makes the thing bigger for everybody, and it's just shows that it's going to keep on going.
For sure,
awesome.
for sure. Adam, I got nothing more for you except to wish you luck this week. I hope you figure things out.
Maybe 3 if we're real lucky.
Yeah, sure. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Adam Turner, everybody.
All right, thanks, guys, for having me.
You can let us know whether we're going to go to the Burger Barn Quiz of the Week or we're just going to end the show here. We good now? Comment if you can hear us. All right, we're good. Well, it's a good show. I'm looking forward to Nationals weekend. Spencer, you can kill your mic. Thank you. Yeah. So, I'll show you a picture. I'm going to send it to Spencer, which I probably shouldn't do right now, right in the middle of it. But he doesn't know I took this picture on the way out. Show that one, Spencer, if you got it. We had some issues in the G-Force broadcast trailer on Saturday. We lost a mainframe right before we went on the air, and Spencer took one of the whole massive computers home with him on the weekend to rebuild it. And that one was headed to sick bay as I was going home on Sunday night after the weekend at Delaware. And I said, is that the main brain? He's like, yeah, I'm going to rebuild it. So, man, sometimes I wish he could rebuild our brains. That would have been cool. Adam Turner just said
doesn't need
thanks
to
for
be
the
rebuilt.
chat. Adam Turner said thanks for the chat. I blame Adam's internet. We all blame Adam for everything anyways. So we're even there.
I can take it.
I don't know what we got in Burger Barn Viz of the Week. What do we got left there, Spencer? Roll it. Anything you got? Oh, how about the mini stock race finale for the championship Rush Weekend? That was in the dump. Roll that one if you got it.
Talladega
awesome.
back there. Look at Jillian Hill's
These are 2 of the champions going out of here.
Martin Schroeder out in front. He's going to take the checkered flag and the win. I don't think Carter knew that Martin Schroeder was the leader. Checkered flag to Jillian.
So that's 2nd through 7th right there in like a wicked 5-lap battle to the finish. And, man, our mini stocks never fail. I'm going to throw it out there right now because I just love stepping on it. If we get this Thursday night done in a timely fashion, like so we don't beat up the neighborhood too bad, and the night goes off without a hitch, and I still have a job after booking the Thursday night race, which I didn't ask to, and we just started promoting. Next year, mini stock nationals. Thunder stock nationals on the Thursday. Sportsmen are out. Sorry, we got it. We got other plans for you guys. But mini stock, Thunder stock nationals Thursday. Great nationals Friday. 360 nationals Saturday. You with me?
I'm with you.
All right, call it now. If I still have a job on Monday, mini stock nationals next year. All right. Let's run through our burger run videos of the week, whatever we got left, and then we're going to eat some food. Oh, this is Lane Zardo. We always know Lane is personality, let's call it, but Lane takes it seriously. This is him doing laps on Delaware Friday morning to get ready for the big super stock race, and I just thought that was cool to show the other side of these guys getting ready. Keep them rolling, Spence. And this is the beauty of this. We even know what we send out from Delaware. Oh, look at this. This is all the water at Delaware, Adam.
Yeah, this is Chris's video, right?
Yeah, you sent this into the thumb. This is them trying to clear behind pit road after all the rain Saturday. And there was a point when we thought there was no way they were going to get that race in because it had just rained so much. And but kudos to the Delaware Ownership Management Group for sticking with it with the APC. Getting the night in, it was a late one, but man, I think it would have put everybody way behind how we gone, off to another plan. What else we got, Spencer? I don't think there's a ton there tonight. Oh, look at this. Woo! So we put our, play it a couple more times. We put our speed shots in danger. We know we're going to lose one. But I think I'd sacrifice the camera for that shot any day of the week.
I think so.
Damn cool. Oh, the camera survived. Yeah, good point. It was still alive there at the end.
That's pretty cool.
No doubt. Our backstretch camera got dragged by a water truck last summer all the way down the backstretch. Somehow had to be mostly rebuilt. What else we got? Oh, this is cool. You know how much this would have cost, Adam? I priced out a drone show for Rush Weekend's NASCAR race last year. For it was 12 drones. It was like 20 grand. You there, Adam?
I'm here.
Okay, play it again. And if we lose you now, we'll say goodbye once and for all. But this is such a cool tribute. So this was at Eldora on the weekend for the World 100 there. And this is so awesome what these guys can do.
That's pretty epic.
That's awesome, eh? Yeah, so a drone show like that is probably in Canada, I would say easily $30,000, $40,000. I mean, for like 12 drones, so every light you see there is pretty much a drone, right, on its own. And you're looking at probably, it had to be 25 grand US at least. If not, we're blowing off 25 grand in fireworks in the same amount of time. That's probably 40, 50K for that show. That should, it's pretty wild. That'll do it for our show. We will see you this weekend at Northern Nationals weekend at Rush Weekend. We'll be live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kicking off things right around 7 o'clock. And going to be awesome. Great payouts, great car counts, great weather. That's another thing. The weather is not looking bad from now till next Wednesday, so nothing can even blow in and really get us off kilter. So we're excited. If you looking for tickets and camping, better go on to the orange lot. Is pretty much going to sell out if it isn't already today. We've got lots of room in the blue lot, lots of parking over off turn 3 and 4. And we'll see you this weekend at the Northern Sprint Car Nationals at Rush Week.